Good evening. It's 6 o'clock on Thursday, August 18th, 2016. Welcome and thank you for joining us tonight for the English edition of Aura News, where we bring you today's top stories translated into English every weeknight. Prosecutors and judges who will be appointed to the Special Prosecution within the National Bureau of Investigation and to the courts that will judge corruption and organized crime cases should think twice before applying for the position, as they have to relinquish their and their families' privacy for at least 1 decade. The bill concerning the organization and functioning of the institutions which will fight corruption and organized crime is currently being reviewed in the Ad Hoc Commission of Judicial Reform, and it predicts drastic restrictions for these judges and prosecutors who will be under observation day and night. These judges and prosecutors will receive a high salary, however, in exchange for losing their privacy. In the self-declaration forms that prospective judges and prosecutors must fill, they must agree to use only one phone number and only one email address for the next 10 years. Their communication and telephone calls will be monitored 24 hours a day by the National Bureau of Investigation. In case of any emergency requiring them to use other means of communication, they should report this fact to the responsible officer of the Bureau of Investigation within 3 days. The appointed judges and prosecutors will sign the self-declaration bill agreeing to be under constant observation by the National Bureau of Investigation. Judges and prosecutors must also declare their and their families' members' bank accounts. They must declare their homes, apartments, holiday homes, vehicles, motorcycles, boats, or airplanes they own or have owned in the past 5 years. Candidates of these institutions will fill the form declaring if they are aware of a crime that any family member have committed in the past 10 years, including husband and wife as well as close relatives. Candidates must also declare whether they had meetings, relationships, or inappropriate contact with persons who are or have been arrested, convicted, or publicly accused of involvement in organized crime. Candidates will also undergo the polygraph test. The majority will ask for a change to Article 13 of the Law on Special Prosecution. The bill containing Article 13, one of the 7 organic laws that accompany the constitutional amendments adopted on July 21st, which aims to establish the National Bureau of Investigation and the Special Prosecution against Corruption, specifies the organization and functioning of institutions in the fight against corruption and organized crime. It was received by the Ad Hoc Commission on Judicial Reform on Wednesday. The Special Prosecution article of the draft can affect the independence of the media, and for this reason it will change. Sources close to the majority confirmed that the paragraph, which leaves room for restricting media freedom, will be reformulated. The same sources specify precisely that Article 13 is subject to reformulation because the paragraph is formulated such that it may be misconstrued. Article 13 of the draft law aims to ensure the independence of the Special Prosecution and states that any kind of influence of improper conduct on the work of the special prosecutors or their activities on specific issues by public authorities, media, or any other person that affects the independence of the prosecutors in the exercise of their duties is prohibited and punishable by law, reads the article in question. Yesterday, the Association of Journalists and the opposition both also reacted against the article. The Democratic Party continued to denounce the senior police officials today, implying they are involved in drug trafficking. In a media statement from Democratic headquarters, the head of the Department of Public Order and Security said that senior police officials are guarding drug plantations and defending drug traffickers in exchange for money. According to Democratic Party, 15% of the Albanian territory is planted with drugs. Drugs have already turned into a business for the government. Police directors guard drug plantations in exchange for 30% of the selling value. Our partner intelligence services have reported that 15% of the territory is being used to plant drugs in approximately 400 areas all around Albania, the Democratic Party head of the Department of Public Order and Security said. The Ministry of Interior reacted to the accusations, considering the DP's statement to be a derogatory defamation. With much regret, we note that these shameful statements have no other purpose than to undermine the state police work and that they have nothing to do with the facts of reality. These statements are rumors from the Democratic Party leader, says the statement. The The Ministry of Interior continues, saying that it's pointless to continuously reject the series of defamations the opposition says every day. The statement reads further, "The fight against the cultivation and trafficking of cannabis has been and remains a priority of the state police in cooperation with international partners. This year, there were significant achievements in this war." There is a high number of migrants in the offices of the Legalization Agency who want to legalize their houses during the time that they are in Albania for their holidays. The director of the Legalization Agency declares that new offices have been opened in order to help the migrants and treat their cases before other citizens' cases. The situation is the same in every legalization office around Albania. The accelerated procedures are helping the migrants who are only in Albania for a few days as they have to return to the countries where they work and live. The interest to legalize houses in Tirana and all around Albania has been high. There is an added interest this year. "We have sent guidelines to all directories so that they will know how to act with the migrants," declared Legalization Agency Director. But despite the added staff and new extra offices, not everyone is satisfied with the service and some are tired of waiting in lines. 5,505 legalization permits were issued in July. After Sunday's protest in Hamara, where a group of Hamara community members protested over the property issues in that area, some community representatives held a meeting today with President Nishani. The president's office announced that the representatives informed the president about how they feel the new urban plan is negatively affecting their properties. President Nishani assured Hamara residents that he will be a powerful voice to defend their interests. The president expressed his utmost willingness to follow the property issue and the problems related to it. Mr. Nishani highlighted the state institution's responsibility for this problem and stressed that this is a very sensitive issue and that a solution will prevent unnecessary social conflicts and will enable further economic development. Although lending has shown signs of recovery in the second quarter of the year, increasing by 4.5 billion lek in April and May, business owners still hesitate to ask banks for a loan. The Central Bank of Albania reports highlights its lending trends for the second quarter of the year, noting the banks have tightened loan conditions for businesses. The main factors affecting the lower number of loans seems to be the macroeconomic situation and the risks, which are influenced by the high number of defaulted loans, a number that has reached 20% according to the official data. Business loan portfolios are dominated by loans in the trade sector, hotels, and restaurants. The weight of credit to this sector amounts to 38.1%, giving the main contribution to the expansion of business loan portfolios in the second quarter. This portfolio recorded an annual growth of 2.9% at the end of May. Loans to the construction sector also appear to have been improved, rising by 1.7% compared to a year ago. Meanwhile, loans in the industrial sector have shrunk by about 2% this year. This lowered performance seems to have been mainly influenced by the reduction of loans in the energy production subsector. That's all for our English edition this evening. Please join us again Monday through Saturday at 6 p.m. for your local news in English. My name is Mari, and on behalf of ORN News, thank you and good night.